Great. All right. Hello and welcome. We are going to hang on a second here while we wait for everybody to log in and join. Go ahead and just hang out. We'll probably get started about 6:01. Welcome to those who have just joined us. We are going to hang out while everybody gets logged in, and we'll get started about 6:01. Give it another 60 seconds for people to jump in. Welcome, welcome. We're going to hang out for another few seconds here while we see if anybody else is going to be joining us. Great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. Welcome to National Drive Electric Week. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sandra Hall, and I'm a board member of the Davis Electric Vehicle Association located in Northern California, and I'm helping to facilitate this session. First, I would like to let you know that this webinar is being recorded. If you have any technical difficulties, please drop a note into the chat box, and I'll do my best to help you out. When the time comes, if you can add your questions to the chat box or the Q&A box, that would be greatly appreciated. I wanted to let you know this session is being hosted by the Electric Auto Association, supporting EV education in the National Drive Electric Week. In the chat box, I'm going to drop a quick link to our National Drive Electric Week website, which you could find more Electric Week events, from choosing an EV to different incentives that are available and the basics of electric vehicles, which you will be learning about tonight as well. But without further ado, I would like to welcome Jinzu from Clean Vehicle Rebate Project.
Thanks, Sandra. Hello, everybody. Welcome to National Drive Electric Week.
I know, right?
Thank you. Welcome to National Drive Electric Week. My name is Jin Zhu. I work for an organization called Center for Sustainable Energy. We are the program administrator for the statewide electric vehicle rebate program called Clean Vehicle Rebate Project. Today, I'll be presenting alongside Adrian Gomez, who is the Community Engagement Manager for the Clean Vehicle Assistance Program, and also Tom Lee from the South Coast Air Quality Management District. So just a quick introduction on what CSE, Center for Sustainable Energy, is about. We have one simple mission, which is decarbonize. That obviously includes many different things, but one of our big projects is to administer CVRP, the Clean Vehicle Rebate Project. CSC, we are a nonprofit organization, 501c3. We are headquartered in San Diego, but obviously we have different regional offices throughout the states. We have one in LA, Oakland, and some in Fresno as well. Then we also have two on the East Coast, Boston and Stony Brook. We have over 200 different, we call them dedicated mission employees, work on 50 different projects throughout the states. Okay, before we start, we would like to do a quick poll. We try to make this a little bit more interactive for you guys. So the first question is, what is your mode of transportation? We have, wow, a lot of different choices. There is plug-in hybrids, battery electric, hybrid, regular gas vehicles, train, bus, and bicycle. So please take a quick second. Let's finish this poll, then we can get started with our presentation today. All right. Wow, looks like 50-50. We have some folks with plug-in hybrids and some of the folks with regular conventional vehicle. Perfect. That's the perfect segue for me to go into EV 101. For those that don't know, there are different types of clean vehicles out there. The first one is probably the most popular one. It's the most common one. It's just a conventional hybrid vehicle. So we see out there the first and second generation Priuses are hybrids. There's also Honda Accord has a hybrid. I know Malibu does. So a lot of them have a hybrid. The way it works, it has a small battery pack, and it's only powered by gasoline, and the engine charges the battery along with braking. It can't really go that far or that quickly just on its electricity alone. So this is just a conventional hybrid. Next vehicle that we will see is a plug-in hybrid. I believe one of our attendees actually owns a plug-in hybrid. The difference is that even though both vehicles has the battery pack and also had the engine, this battery pack is a lot bigger. You can actually physically charge it with a plug into the wall. You can actually physically charge it, and you can actually drive on that electricity alone. The engine won't help until you either doing super aggressive acceleration or when the battery pack runs out. So when the battery runs out, the engine kicks in, then a plug-in hybrid vehicle turns into a conventional hybrid. So, and up next is battery electric. So your Teslas, your Chevy Bolts, all those are considered battery electric vehicle. These ones has a range of 60 for the very small ones to 400 miles. It depends on its battery pack. For the difference between battery electric vehicle and a plug-in hybrid is battery electric vehicle only has the electric engine, only has battery pack. There is no gas engine backup. So once you are the juice, you need to look either for a public, you need to charge it. You're looking for a public charging station, or you can charge at home. And the range obviously depends on the size of the battery packs. I believe the longest range was it's up to 400 miles now, and it's always improving. The very last one is kind of the rare one, but at least in some parts of California. Down here in Southern California, it's actually not too bad. It's a fuel cell electric vehicle, which is also a hydrogen vehicle. So what it is that instead of charging the vehicle with a plug and the wall outlet, you actually go to a hydrogen filling station. I know that our folks over at South Coast AQMD, they have a hydrogen filling station over at Diamond Bar. So you just pull up, you plug the little nozzle in, just like pumping gas. Within 5 to 10 minutes, you have full tank of hydrogen. Hydrogen gets transformed, it goes through a fuel stack, and it converts that into battery. So it is a battery electric vehicle, but it doesn't charge. You just pump hydrogen in there. So those are the 4 different types of vehicle that's out there. It's considered clean. That's considered clean vehicles, and 3 of them actually qualify for a rebate, which I will talk about next. But before, I'm going to see if there is any questions before I move on to the next slide. All right, doesn't sound like there's any questions out there. So before we go down to the next one, the next part of it, we're going to talk about how familiar are you with electric vehicle incentives? I know the theme today is talking about incentives, so we would like to take a quick poll to see how familiar folks are with incentives. So please take a little bit of time, and we'll see how familiar folks are. All right, everybody, I have heard about incentives. All right, you guys are in for a treat. There's actually many different incentives out there. So we'll see. We have 2 different other panels that will talk to you about it. But first, before we go through that, let's do some charging real quick. So you can have electric vehicles or plug-in hybrids without charging. Charging is quite important infrastructure, and there are 3 different types of charging I will talk to you about today. First one is probably the most common one, and it's level 1 charging. Every electric vehicle, every plug-in hybrid come with the level 1 charging, come with a car. Level 1 charging just means you get to plug it in at home. It takes the regular 120-volt outlet, and it charges decent amount. I mean, most folks can get away with it, but if you do drive a lot, in a battery electric vehicle, you might need to upgrade, but I think probably 70 to 80% of folks can get by with the level 1 charging. It depends on, it takes about 3.5 to 6.5 miles per hour charge. So if you charge it overnight, you can get about, let's see, like 70 to 80 miles. So it depends on how much you drive. If you fall within that, you're perfectly fine with a level 1 charger. Next one is level 2 charging. So these are the most popular public charging and stations. Our most public charging stations are level 2. And also you can have level 2 charging at home as well. So instead of plugging into the 120 outlet, this one requires to purchase a aftermarket charging, and it plugs into the little washer and dryer outlet. That's about, in a little circle, and that's a 240. That one charges a lot faster. As you can see on my graph here, it charges up to 35 miles range per hour. So if overnight, pretty much all the vehicles would be full. And so if you drive a lot, so definitely consider installing a level 2 charger. And the very last one is DC fast charging. Those are the ones that you see at side of highways, in front of like if you go like Walmarts or Targets. Those are, especially those are charges extremely fast. About every hour of charge, you can get up to 300 miles on the newer stations. Obviously, that depends on the charger, and also depends on the vehicle as well, because the faster it charges, the more heat it generates. So if the vehicle is equipped with a proper battery pack cooling, you can handle it, then you can charge it as fast as you want. So these are the 3 different types of charging that's available. Any questions? Going once, going twice. All right, here we go. Clean transportation programs. This is what we're here to talk about. So we're going to talk about 3 different programs today. One, obviously, is CVRP, Clean Vehicle Rebate Project. The second one is Replace Your Ride. This is a South Coast program that's for the folks that live in the South Coast Air Quality Management District. And the third one is called the Clean Vehicle Assistance Program. That is also another statewide program. So let's go ahead and start with CVRP. CVRP, it's a statewide program, and this program is a post-purchase program. What that means is that you either have to lease your vehicle or purchase your vehicle first at a dealership, a brand new one. And after you either lease and purchase them, then you go to our website and apply online. And you do have a limited amount of time in order to apply for our rebate. It's before the program changes. It was 18 months. Now it's 3 months. So within 3 months, you will have to apply for the rebate. And the rebate actually comes in a check. We actually, even though we're working from home, we still have our staff going to the office, print out the checks, manually stuff the checks, and send it out to you guys. So yeah, it comes in a rebate check. Excellent. So this one is about applicant eligibilities. So you have to be a California resident. Like I said earlier, that you have to submit your application within the 3 months of the date of your purchase or lease. And also you have to obtain ownership for 30 months. So if the leasing term is under 30 months, you don't qualify for the rebate. So always go get 30 months or longer leasing terms in order to qualify for the rebates. And as you can see in my 4th bullet, there is some income requirements now. So let me go ahead and talk about the income requirements real quick. So the income requirements is like this. So on one end of the spectrum is that if you make too much money, for instance, if you're a single filer, you make $150,000 or more, head of household is 204, and joint filers in 300,000. If you make that much income, you no longer qualify for the state rebate. So that has been the case for ever since 2016, I believe. And on the other end of the spectrum, the state does offer an increased rebate for our frontline communities, for our low to moderate income communities. And this is set at 300% FPL. For those, you don't really need to know exactly what FPL is. It stands for federal poverty level. But one number you should remember is that if you're a household of 4, if your family make less than 78,000, or you're a family of 5, your family makes less than $92,000, you qualify for the increased rebate. And the increased rebate is going to be $2,500. So as you can see from my rebate amount chart here, for a plug-in hybrid, standard rebate is $1,000. Battery electric is $2,000, and fuel cell is $4,500. And you can go ahead and add $2,500 to that if you qualify for the increased rebate. That will make the total rebate amount to $3,500, $4,500, and $7,000. And just not too long ago, we did update our website. We now have a new list of vehicles that's eligible for the rebate. So please definitely check that for the eligibility list. And I can quickly go over some of the rebate eligibility requirements now. So again, the vehicle that you purchase and qualify for CVRP must be new. And the odometer reading has to be under 75,000. And the next one is the big one, is the MSRP has to be less than $60,000 now. And please keep your vehicle, the leasing terms, for longer than 30 months. So these are the new vehicle eligibility requirements. And we do have the entire list of the eligible vehicles on our website. So please check that before you make a purchase to make sure that your vehicle does land on the eligibility list. That's pretty much the presentation I have for CVRP. Are there any questions? If not, I'm going to move on to Replace Your Ride. All right. Wow, you guys are easy. All right. Tom, please take it over. Please. I will just let me know where you want to see the next slide.
Okay, thanks, Jin, for the very good presentation. All right, my name is Tom Lee. I'm the program supervisor for the Technology Advancement Group at South Coast AQMD, and I oversee this program. Replace Your Ride. Next slide, please. This program is known by the state, which is the California Air Resources Board, as Clean Cars for All. It's run by many different districts, and in our district, South Coast, we branded it as Replace Your Ride. It's a voluntary vehicle retirement program where you have to scrap the vehicle in order for us to realize emission reduction, going from the dirty to clean. And it's only for light duty vehicles, meaning it's only 10,000 pounds or less in gross vehicle weight. Participants can get a voucher to purchase either, as Jin has said, a used or new vehicle. They can also opt for public transit passes or car sharing credits. Car sharing would be like Turo. It's one of the apps that we accept. And also next year, we're gonna start implementing e-bikes and bike sharing. Next slide, please. Just a quick program overview. The participant received between $2,500 to $9,500. And the amount depends on the income level, obviously, the vehicle technology, and also depends on if they live in a disadvantaged community. Pre-owned vehicles, used vehicle get the same incentive amount, and it's very attractive for the participants in this program. We get roughly 63%, last I checked, our participants opt for a used vehicle. If you've gone through this program and received a vehicle that can take a charge, such as plug-in hybrid or battery electric, you can, in addition, apply for EVSC, which is a level 2 charger that you can install at your residence, and $2,000 we reimburse back to you for the charger and for the installation costs. That typically covers it all. Now we have over 60 participating dealerships that helps us run this program. You do have to purchase through one of them. And we have a couple of consumer protection built into the program. One is the interest rate is capped at a certain percentage. And also for all used cars purchased, there's no questions asked. 3 days, you can return the car and get your you can basically, you don't get, well, you get your money back, you get the voucher could be reapplied to a different vehicle that you choose. We also offer multilingual assistance. Currently we have Spanish, Chinese, and Korean, and we plan to add a couple more languages. Next slide, please. Just want to share some program stats real quick. This program started in 2015, so it's 5 years in the running. And since then, we have funded over 56 million total and over 7,000 clean cars. About 2/3 of the ones funded are the cleanest technologies, such as plug-in hybrids, battery electric, and fuel cell. Not too many fuel cells yet, but we do have a few. The program tries to target disadvantaged communities and the low income. We do have 93% of our participants that live in disadvantaged communities, and 88% are in the lowest poverty level. We also try to get the dirtiest cars off the road. That's the intent of the program. And the average scrapped vehicle mileage is 180K and about 20 years old, the year 2000. So we're at 2020 now, so that's 20 years, right? Some information tidbits you might be interested in. The most popular plug-in hybrid in the program are the Toyota Prius plug-in and the Chevy Volt. And the most popular battery electric is the Nissan Leaf. This program has really grown the last year or so. And right now, our average voucher amount that we fund per week is roughly 500K. Next slide, please. Now, who qualifies? Okay, this is an income qualified program, so you must meet some basic income levels that I'll go over later. You have to have a valid California driver's license. You have to own the vehicle that's going to be scrapped for at least 1 year. You have to live in our South Coast Air Basin or Coachella Valley. The scrap vehicle has to have operated in California for the past 2 years. Only one person per tax household can participate. And the scrap vehicle has to be the model year 2012 or older. This was a moving year for the past few years, but because of the popularity of the program, we had to kind of limit the intake and also to go with the theme of getting the dirtiest cars off the road. So this year we capped it at 2012. All right, next slide, please. Now, this is just your maximum income levels that you can look at, similar to what Jen had shown earlier. If you want to see if you get in, you look at the far right. That's the column that you want to read if you get in to get any kind of money at all. So for example, for household income of 2, husband and wife, if you make combined income less than 68K, you would squeeze in the program. But that would be at the column to the right, which is at the 400 federal poverty level. You won't get as much. The middle column's moderate, that's at the 300 FPL. You get a little more. And the low is at 225 level, and you get even more. Okay, next slide. This will just show you the funding amount that you get. We call it a funding table. You see on the far left, you can still get a gasoline vehicle. High MPG though. We require it to be at least 35 plus miles per gallon. And we don't give you that much money for that because we really don't like the option, but there are some folks that just have that need, or so we just leave that to be an option, but we may actually phase that out in the coming years, possibly. The one on the right, that's the mobility option. That's the transit pass, the car sharing, and bike sharing option. And that one does not depend whether you live in a disadvantaged neighborhood or not. You get the same amount as is conventional. Those we don't look at disadvantage. But as you see the middle two, the DAC parentheses, it shows a much higher amount if you live in a disadvantaged community. And one thing of note, this program, and you'll see a later chart, is that plug-in hybrids get the same amount of incentive as battery electric and fuel cell. So I think you'll probably see later on that tends to be the most popular option is a plug-in hybrid. Okay, next slide. And this is a breakdown in technology of the replacement vehicles that we fund. So let's the numbers are a little not off the line, but anyway, this also shows the growth of the program over the 5 years. Beginning first year in 2015, we barely funded 400 the whole year. And last year, 2019, we funded over 2,100 vehicles. And this year, even with COVID, it looks like we're on course to meet the 2,100. As I mentioned earlier, plug-in hybrid is the blue bar, and that is by far the most popular. The one on the right, the dark green, that is a ZE, zero emission. That includes both battery electric and fuel cell. Okay, next slide. This shows the voucher representation by each of our 4 counties in our basin. As you can see, LA is disproportionately higher than the rest, but remember now, LA County also has much higher population than the rest. So you do per capita, numbers are a little closer. Riverside, San Bernardino, they may not have as much charging infrastructure as Orange County and LA. That could be one of the reasons why they're not as popular in this program to get the cleaner cars, the charging cars, EVs. But we do plan to do more outreach next year or so as we go further along, try to reach out to them and try to get these numbers to draw more even. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, what about program funding? Currently, we are fully subscribed, and we're waiting for next year's funding, which at this time is uncertain. Usually it's clockwork. Every year we get a funding and we keep it going. But at this time, because next year, they basically said that the cap and trade proceeds are not high enough that they're gonna have to freeze this particular program for a little while until further notice. So for that reason, looking at what we have now and the number of applications we have in the system, we are fully subscribed. So we are going to be putting on an application moratorium, which means we're going to close the application intake in a couple of weeks. Then we will reopen when new funding is available. If you're in the system right now and we couldn't get to you when funding runs out, you will be on the wait list and you'll be notified where you're on the wait list. So when funding comes back, you're back on again. So we don't discard you at all. So hold tight. Hopefully your car will still be operational by then because we need to be running by the time that you scrap it. So now during the moratorium, now, like I said, we're going to close the application, but interested parties can sign up and they will be contacted like a couple weeks before the program reopens so they can, get ready to reapply. So, and that concludes my presentation. You go next slide, just says questions. So, okay. All right, so any questions?
All right. Thanks, Tom. I don't think there's any questions out there. Next, we have Adrian. Adrian, my man, you're up.
Thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate it. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you to CVRP and CSC for having us, the CVA program here today. We're super excited to be sharing a few details about our program and inviting you all to take a look at us and learn a little bit more about us and hopefully apply. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So with the Clean Vehicle Assistance Program, you can qualify for up to $5,000 to purchase a vehicle that would save you money and help the environment. Next slide. So if a down payment or purchasing a new clean vehicle is a challenge, then the CVA program may be for you. The Clean Vehicle Assistance Program qualifies low to moderate income Californians for up to $5,000 to purchase or lease a new or used clean vehicle. Additionally, participants may be eligible for an additional $2,000 towards the purchase and installation of a level 2 home charging unit or a mobile charger and a $1,000 prepaid charge card to use at public charging stations. And so the great thing about this program is that the grants are down payments and don't have to be paid back. And that also applies to the $2,000 for the charging options grant. And another neat thing about the CVA program is that as of this year, it's stackable with CVRP, meaning that if certain conditions are met, participants from the CVA program can get assistance up front in the form of a down payment or the grant. And then after they complete their vehicle purchase, they're able to stack or apply for the CVRP rebate. Next slide, please. So to apply, the process is fairly simple. You start by completing and submitting your application at cleanvehiclegrants.org. And so to qualify, participants must be California residents, and they need to meet certain income qualifications. And all of this can be found on our website, again, cleanvehiclegrants.org. But just to kind of give you some numbers, like a one-person household, the individual, if the individual makes $51,040 as their annual income, their gross annual income, they can qualify for the program. All the way up to a four-person household where if the gross annual income of that is $104,800, then the individual would qualify for a clean vehicle grant. And also, the lower the participant's income, the higher the grant amount. And those also vary by the type of vehicles that individuals choose. And again, all that information is readily accessible on our website, cleanvehiclegrants.org. So when individuals are approved, they'll receive an approval packet with details and instructions to redeem their grant. So it is at this time that we instruct our participants to start looking for a vehicle and or a loan to complete the purchase of their clean vehicle. And so we work with over 170 dealerships throughout California, and this is where our participants can redeem their grants. And then kind of touching a little bit more on partnerships, we also have a partnership with Beneficial State Bank, who's also offering our participants with challenged credit a special loan product to combine with their CVA program grant. So individuals with a FICO score of 550 or higher may be able to qualify for a loan with a capped interest rate at 8%. So there's more details about that again on our website, or you can, when participants go through the application process, they'll be prompted to see if they're interested in learning a little bit more about that loan option. So once our participants have completed their vehicle purchase, our partner dealerships will kind of step in and they'll finalize the process. And what ends up happening is that our dealership partners will send us certain documents that we need to redeem the grant. And so some of those documents include the purchase agreement. If the vehicle is used, we do ask for a mechanic's inspection. Again, if the vehicle is used or has any recalls, we do ask for a Carfax and proof that any sort of recalls were rectified. Next slide, please. So as I stated earlier, the program exists to help low to moderate income Californians get into clean vehicles. So a majority of our participants have incomes below the living wage of their counties. And since our launch in 2018 and a dormant 2019, we're very proud to say that we've served over 880 participants and counting. And so we've had a really strong 2020. There's a lot of interest in the program and we're seeing a lot of applications. So we're very excited that even through a challenging economy and challenging times, that there's still interest in adopting clean vehicles. Next slide. So thank you everyone again for the time. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at agomez@beneficialstate.org. Our website is cleanvehiclegrants.org, and we're definitely inviting you all to follow us on social media. We have a lot of neat stuff going on there. We're always providing updates there. And that's one of the best ways to keep in contact with us and know the ins and outs of the program. So thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Adrian. Appreciate that. Yeah, cool. Let me go on to the next page. So just a quick recap. There is the CVRP, there is Replace Your Ride, and there is CVA program. And the neat thing about this, and really the main purpose of this is we would like you guys to know is that these program stacks. What that means is that your first step is obviously pick the vehicle that you're looking for. Then you can either go down the CVA path or the Replace Your Ride path. So you have an old car you would like to scrap, and you qualify and could qualify, you should go down to the Replace Your Ride path, scrap your vehicle, get your voucher, if you get the new vehicle, then after you get your vehicle, you can still apply for CVRP, which is the post-purchase program. Or if you don't have a vehicle to scrap, but you still can qualify, you can go with Adrian's program, the CVA program. They give you $5,000 down. Well, it depends on the vehicle that you get. You get the new the new electric vehicle. After that, you can still apply for apply with us and get the CVRP rebates as well. So all these program stacks. So with the stackability of these programs, you actually can save a lot of different money. And obviously, not only do you get to save money, you can always get to save the planet. So here are some more additional different benefits and incentives that's available. So not only do you lower your fuel costs annually and obviously maintenance, because we all know electric vehicles only has an electric engine. That means it doesn't have a lot of moving parts. You don't need to do engine oil changes. There is not that much tune-up going on, and there is no transmission fluid change. So definitely save a lot of money on that. And this also is a tax credit. Tax credit is an interesting thing. So it all depends on if you have a tax liability or not. So if you have a tax liability and you end up purchasing a brand new electric vehicle, you get to write off up to $7,500 of your tax liability because you got the vehicle. Obviously, everybody's situation is different. So please check with a tax professional before you can claim, to make sure you can claim the federal tax credit. I'm going to go to number 6 because utilities. So we down here live in Southern California, Edison. It's the Edison territory. So Edison actually have, which I will show a slide later, will actually give you $1,000. It's called the Clean Fuel Reward Program. That program works on new or used vehicles. As long as you are a SCE customer, you get 1 rebate per vehicle. And all you have to do is provide the VIN number. You just apply the website you see right there, and they will send you a check for $1,000. And obviously, I'm pretty sure folks are aware, you probably have seen it on the road, is that electric vehicles, plug-in hybrids, and fuel cells also give you the opportunity to drive in the carpool lane by yourself. Before, I'm not sure if you folks noticed that the clean air sticker, actually, the color of the sticker actually changes every year. I remember when I first started, I believe it was green for plug-in hybrids and white for electric vehicles. Then they moved away from that, just give all different technology the same color. It was red. Then I think you went to purple, if I recall correctly. Now it's orange. So every year is different. So I don't know. So next year will be a different color. And the decal is available. It's good for 4 years. So little trick I like to do is it's not on the date you purchase your vehicle, it's the date that you apply. So for instance, you go out and buy a boat tomorrow. It's already October, believe it or not. And so maybe you should wait the 2 months and apply the following year in 2021. So you actually get the full 4 years of the new color sticker. Just little tips. And also, not only do you get the sticker on the new vehicle, you also get it on used cars as well. But that one is that one has a little bit of income qualifications. For more details, please definitely visit dmv.ca.gov. And in order to apply, it's $22. But all the detailed information is on the website. Let's see. I'll do that. I know that today we talked a lot. We throw out a lot of different numbers at you guys. We also talk a lot of different programs. So one thing that we have created is actually called the savings calculator. What that is actually on our website. It's right here, cleanvehiclerebate.org/community/savings. What that is that it only requires a couple of fields, and you get to see how much money you can potentially get within that zip code. So all we need from you is your zip code, household size, and your income bracket, right? Like we in the drop down, I can actually do a live demonstration later. Is that if we have time? Is that there's a drop down menu show you the different income bracket you fall into, what vehicle you're looking for. Not only do we have vehicles, we also have, as Tom mentioned earlier, their program actually give you public transit vouchers, total vouchers. I know in the Bay Area they give away Clipper cards, so we actually have that option as well under vehicle type. Then also you can select you're looking for a new vehicle or a used vehicle. Are you going to, do you have an old car you want to get on a scrap or retire, or you don't? You pick your utility provider, and you can see on the right-hand side all the different incentives that's available in your area with the links to the program. So whether it's information, what's the eligibility for different program, and also applications. So it really is a great tool for you to use just to get a glance on how much money you can potentially save. I definitely recommend for folks to use this tool. Next, I just want to briefly talk about our CVRP Community Partners Network. This is something that we're very proud of over here at CSC and CVRP. As you know, that California is vast, and even pre-COVID, it's really hard to reach the disadvantaged communities. Like there's definitely a lot of different EV barriers out there. So what we decided to do, we're only a team of, I think, team of 10. We're spread out through different parts of the region, but still, we can't be at all the different events. We can't be doing all the different presentations at once. So we have decided to do is we have started our own partners network. These are all of our different community-based organizations that we work throughout California. For instance, we have a pretty big one in the Central Valley represented by the Central California Asthma Collaborative, and all of the ones that's in black are their sub CBOs. So we have a network of CBOs in LA, we have a network of CBOs in the Central Valley. Out here, we actually partner with Reach Out, which is based out of Upland, and they also have a office in Harupa Valley as well. So these folks are they already work with the community. They actually they're a trusted voice of the community. So what we do is we work with them, and they will be like an EV ambassador. They will go out there and talk about EVs. We train those folks to learn how to talk about EVs, how to talk about EV incentives. And of course, now we don't only talk about CVRP, we talk about Replace Your Ride out here. We talk about the Tune In and Tune Up program and Dry Clean in San Joaquin in where Adrian is in Fresno. We talk about the different Clean Cars for All programs in the Bay Area and also in Sacramento. So this is something we're proud of. We just want to share with everybody is that CVRP, not only do we do outreach, we also have a vast amount of CBOs that help us out there as well. That pretty much wraps it up. We still have about, looks like 18 minutes. I do see some chat box popping up. I was hoping those could be some questions, but please contact me at jin.zhu@energycenter.org. Our website is cleanvehiclerebate.org. And the next one is that your local EV association. It's run by Michelle Pierce, which I hope is probably in the audience somewhere. Hi, Michelle, if you're there. And you can reach her at michellepevnirvana.com. They are also a great resources for anything EV related. By that really ends our presentation. I'm going to throw it to Sandra. Let's see if we have any questions out there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jin. I am not seeing any questions immediately, so we'll hang on a second in case somebody pops something in the chat box. Let's see here. Somebody's mentioning a motorcycle. Very cool.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. CVRP does offer a 700, it was 900. Due to program changes, it went down to 750. We do have a $750 rebate on EV motorcycles, as motorcycles not fast enough, but they make electric motorcycles now. Very interesting. Yeah.
Very good to know. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm not seeing any other questions immediately. So I think I'm going to share one more time the information for National Drive Electric Week for other events as well. And then I don't know if Marisol, do you have any additional items you want to share yourself?
Nope, but thank you very much. Thank you everyone that joined us today. We really appreciate it.
Great, yes, thank you everybody, and thank you Jen and Adrian for giving the presentations, and Tom as well. We appreciate you guys sharing the information with everybody. Please do reach out to everybody to ask any further questions if you have any. Otherwise, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good
Thanks,
one.
everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.